Thank you, my dear. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome to my live stream. It's Dr. Wendy Walsh. It's Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Let me turn the comments on over here on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter. So welcome. I love to talk about the science of love. I love to talk about the biological, the psychological, and the sociological pieces of love. And Instagram is saying, hang on, we're telling your followers to join the video. I don't know why. But everyone else should be here on the StreamYard video. Let me turn your comments on. The first thing I love for everyone to do is please tell me where you're watching from. Oh, Jonesy, could you come and do me a little favor, honey? I see that you're on the wrong Instagram account. You're on my personal, private, family Instagram account instead of the public one. So we'll just have to start over there. So hello, everybody. If you're watching on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube, welcome to my live stream every Wednesday at 6 o'clock. I love to talk about the science of love, and I'll tell you why. Because I used to think, like many people, that love was about luck, that somehow if you could just find the perfect one, that love would be easy. But the truth is, love is something that is a combination of our genetic predisposition for attachment, along with our, what happens in our early life environment that creates our model for love in our head. So hello, everybody. Welcome on Instagram. We're a little late joining because accidentally Jones, I used to call her my 17-year-old IT department, but yesterday she turned 18. And she had me set up for the wrong account because I also have a private friends and family little account with pictures of my kids. So the first thing I love to hear from everybody is just shoot a comment and let me know where you're watching from. And it's always fun to see that people are watching from all around the world. And why is it? For some reason it ended. Don't know why. But now we're back up. We should be back up everywhere else. Hi, Lisa from Santa Barbara. Hi, Robert from Seattle. Hello, Ernesto from Orlando. Hello, Ontario, Canada. Where? Ottawa, Toronto. Where? Hi, Miami. Hi, Toronto. How are you? Hi, Spokane, Washington. It's so cool. Hi, Sydney from Maryland. How are you? So, tell me. Ask me. I'm here. Your relationship questions this week. Who's got a question? Hi, John from Santa Monica. Hi, Asma from Montreal. How are you? Hello from London. Hello from Australia. So tomorrow, it's tomorrow for you. It's not Wednesday night. It is Tuesday morning, or Thursday morning for you guys. I'll get my week straight. Hello, Corona, California. Sydney always has the best questions, and I love to put them on screen. Sydney says, what are some effective subliminal flirting techniques? Well, here's the thing. When you say subliminal, it means it's out of your own awareness, right? I think what you mean are subtle flirting techniques where you're not overtly trying to chase someone. Like I often say, people don't like it when I get a little heteronormative and put people in gender binary ideas. And there's good reason for them not to like that, by the way. But in general, in a heterosexual couple, so I'll leave it limited to that group, sperm chases egg and not the reverse. And so women always say, well, how do I get a guy's attention? How do I get him interested? And the answer is you issue an invitation, which is different than chasing a guy, right? Issuing an invitation means simple things, holding eye contact a split second longer, laughing at their jokes. Don't laugh at them if they're not funny. men's biggest fear is that a woman will laugh at them. But if you find them the least bit funny, make that laugh a little bit bigger. You know, one of my Mating Matters podcast episodes is called Funny is for Foreplay, where we looked at the evolution of humor in the species and how it is very much a male mating strategy. And when we interviewed men, they often said, well, they love a woman who laughs at their jokes, and they especially like a woman who they know is laughing at their joke that isn't that funny. Okay, so they know they're not that funny, but that's how you issue that subtle invitation for them to chase. Any other questions when we're talking about relationships here? Any questions about love that you might have? One question somebody asked me this week is, how soon is too soon to get back on the horse after a breakup or after a real loss, grieving over the death of a spouse? And my answer is, you know, you really can't grow unless you're in a relationship and you're practicing. So while there are those people who cannot be alone and jump very quickly from one to another and aren't being really selective, let's leave those people aside. The rest of the people who say, I'm going to take a year off and I'm going to heal myself and I'm just not going to date. Those people aren't healing, they're avoiding, because the only way to heal is to try a new partner, but be a different person each time. Be more honest, be more authentic, choose different people, right? Now, there used to be this idea that after a spouse passed away, you had to do some kind of year in mourning before you found any consoling or happiness for yourself. I think that is crazy. That's nonsense, especially if your spouse was sick for a long period of time. You're maybe suffering from caregiver burnout. So I believe that, you know, you need care too. And what is a relationship? It is an exchange of care. And so don't let anybody tell you you need to wait. Now, on the other hand, if you are that person who breaks up with somebody and jumps into another relationship right away, J-Lo, not mentioning any names, maybe you do need to spend some time alone. Maybe you do need to spend some time figuring out really who you are and what you want and managing your feelings of loneliness, managing your attachment anxiety, if you will. Okay, any more questions about dating, mating, relating, relationships? And also always tell me where you're watching from. That's always great fun. Sydney always has these great questions. Okay, Instagram. Why are there women out there who are afraid to say no? Why are there women? Oh, because we have a mate crunch right now. We have an oversupply of successful women. We have far more educated and career earning women. We have more women in the American workforce. For the last decade, we've seen the feminization of college campuses. For every 2 men that graduate college, there are 3 women. And so as a result, women on some level feel a mate crunch. And so they've become a little less choosy, which is not so smart, because men actually, in the end, like to commit to the woman who has boundaries, the one who negotiates toughly. Somebody asked me, I'm sorry, Instagram goes by so fast and I'm unable to see the questions. So if I missed your question and it went flying by, can you type it in again? Because it's really hard for me to see. Okay, what if Sydney always asks good questions? Let's go over here to YouTube, where Sydney asks, how can I avoid love from distracting my life? How can I find the balance? Well, it sounds like you might be the kind of person whose entire identity is around love and relationships. So when you're in a couple, that's your identity. You've got a girlfriend, boyfriend, you're a thing, you're a twosome, and everything else goes by the wayside. And that's often a sign of an anxious attachment disorder, not disorder, but an anxious attachment style, shall we say. So the answer is to build all the other parts of your life. Make sure that you have friends and hobbies and other things you're doing in your life, right? Should I change my social media name to get to know someone for real? Should I change my social media name to get to know someone for real? I think people should be authentic from the beginning. I hope you don't have, oh, I see, because yours is dark berry juice. Yes, it should be your name. What do you think mine is? Why can't we be real and authentic from the beginning? What's the best way, asked this person on Instagram, to get a man to express his feelings? Well, he needs to feel safe. He needs to feel that he can completely trust you, and he needs to have it modeled for him. You need to model your feelings in a careful, sensitive, open way, and then eventually he might be safe, feel safe. How are you recording this, if you don't mind me asking? This is Jonathan. Hi, Jonathan. So You're watching on Instagram. On Instagram, I have my iPhone right there on a little tripod. And then right below it, I have my MacBook Pro. And it's using a website called StreamYard. And StreamYard streams on everything else except Instagram. I don't know why. So everybody watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, I don't know where else they're watching, are seeing me here on this screen. But if I take my eyes up a little bit, there I am on Instagram. Okay, any more questions about relationships? Yes, Sydney, these are both really great books. And I read the Robert Sapolsky one a long time ago, but I want to reread it again. Asma says, how long does it take to really get to know a new partner? 6 months, a year? Well, it depends. It depends on how much time you're seeing each other and how much you're just kissing and how much you're talking, right? And when you're talking, are you talking about real things, right? Authentic feelings. So some people can become very emotionally intimate in 30 days. Other people may need to take a year. So it's all about your degree of openness and your ability to be authentic and feel trusting. And, follow-up question to this often, Asma, is how soon is too soon to have sex? Well, the answer is you can have sex as soon as you want to meet somebody. It really depends on what you hope the outcome for that sexuality will be. If you want a long-term relationship, build it. There's tons of research to say that building some emotional intimacy and friendship is probably the better way to go, and taking your time a little bit is the better way to go. I don't put any moral judgment on any of this, by the way. Some people have short-term relationships. Some people have long-term relationships. Doesn't matter to me. Okay, somebody asked me up there on Instagram about books to read about love. My favorite one right now is simply called Attached, and it explains attachment theory for the masses, and everybody I refer to says it is the most amazing book. I'm also reading a great book, I think I mentioned it last week, called When Men Behave Badly by the famous evolutionary psychologist, Dr. David Buss, and in it, he talks about male sexual psychology. It's a super great read for women. But also for men to understand what's going on inside themselves too. How many days do I do this? I do this on Wednesdays at 6:00 p.m. Pacific time, and you're all around the world. Thank you for the nice compliments. That's very sweet of you. And how can you get to know me better? Am I single? No, I have a boyfriend, and you can't. I'm sorry. I have like a very close-knit world of very close friends and family who I am. That's who I'm deeply intimate with. But I love to share the science of love with my listeners on KFI AM 640, with everybody on my social media. You can certainly read my books if some of them are still around. Question on Instagram: can a long-distance relationship work? Usually not. Not once you get back together in the same city, because long-distance relationships are mostly a fantasy, right? Now, you can have a relationship in one city that then you go to long distance and you put a boundary on it, like you're going to take a job for a year or 6 months, or you're away in the military for a time and you use technology and all kinds of ways to compensate. That can work. But if you start a relationship as a long distance relationship because you met somebody on a dating app or something, it misses the day-to-day ups and downs. And you have the beauty of the time lag of you can wait and text them later. You can talk to them later tonight. They don't have to see you at your worst. They don't have to see you when you lost your temper. They don't have to see you when you're crying. They don't have to see you when you're frustrated. And so as a result, long distance relationships become this big fantasy, right? And so when they come into the real world, it's a big shock, right? Another question is, what songs do you like? Do you request for people who want to have love? I don't know, whatever songs turn you on. Everybody listens to different types of music. There's not one thing. Hi, Roller Girl. Welcome. Good to have you again. Somebody asked, how much time is too much time together in a new relationship? Well, I think what you're meaning is there are some people who have so much anxiety around attachment that they meet somebody and really quickly they're spending like 24 hours a day within a few days to each other. You need to go slowly if that is your style. You need to see somebody a couple times a week. Now, I will say, when I met my boyfriend, he found up all these excuses for why he had to see me every day. And I did see him 3 dates in a row, because it was always he was going to have to leave town, or I was going to have to work, or it wasn't going to work at this part of town. And there was always this feeling. Okay, something about a new baby. She uses the I'm pregnant card. I'm trying to be understanding, but I find it hard not to call her out on it. I'm sorry. When you're living in a home with a pregnant woman, hormones rule. She is not herself. By evolution, she was designed to protect her baby and only her baby at that point, and everything to do with the baby comes first. So, sorry, dude, you're just going to have to be patient. I'm serious, okay? These are your genes. She's loving you when she loves that baby, okay? I don't know these questions. Someone asked, how can I ask a man out? How do I get him to propose? Well, first of all, you can never get anybody to do anything. This is very important. You can set boundaries on yourself on what you will accept, but you cannot get somebody to do something. You can express your needs. If they're not able to meet your needs, you can set up a consequence, which is I'm out of here, or whatever it may be. But you can't manipulate people and try to get them to do something they don't want to do. And especially proposing marriage. You don't want to marry somebody who doesn't want to get married, okay? Not a good idea. My favorite genre of music is probably jazz. Lately, I've been going through kind of a Brazilian jazz phase. Oh, this is an excellent question. Sydney, you always have the good questions. Sydney's question is it possible to rewire racial dating preference thoughts? Okay, the word I have problems with is rewire, because here's what we know in research on sexuality. You can sort of add to the menu, but you can't change the menu, right? Now, and I also want to be very clear. People lie, when we're talking about sexual orientation, that's a whole different matter, right? So if you lie on a Kinsey scale as a 1 or a 6 being 100% homosexual in both fantasy and behavior, and a 1 being 100% heterosexual in fantasy and behavior, you're not going to be able to change that or add to that menu. Okay, let's be clear about that. However, a lot of us lie 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s on the Kinsey scale. But let's talk about other things that turn you on. The look of somebody, their mannerisms, their eye color, their shape of face, their vocal tone, whatever. You can add to that by finding new things that arouse you and interest you, but you won't erase it, right? And I know, Sydney, the question you're really getting at underneath it, because I have this conversation all the time with my daughter, who is almost 23, and she thinks that if you are using a dating app and the dating app gets to know your racial preferences, then that is racism. But I remind her that our sexual response system is formulated in the first few years of life, right? So if you're exposed to all kinds of triggers, that's what you're going to implicitly click on when you get on those dating apps. Can you add to it by, should everybody be out there dating people of other races? Absolutely, because we can add to it, right? What do you not believe? Somebody said they don't believe something. Age gap. I get that question a lot. Is there an age gap that's appropriate? It depends. Depends what you want in your relationship. You have to establish what your relationship goals are. You can have a really wide age gap if your goal is to have a short-term fun relationship where somebody provides the resources and somebody provides the hot sex, right? Or you could have a age gap if everybody's past the reproductive years or somebody for sure doesn't want to have children. Problems happen when you have somebody in their reproductive years and somebody not in their reproductive years. And, eventually someone's like, I actually want to reproduce. How old do you have to be to make love? Well, I can only tell you statistics. There's no rule, and I don't care about morals. I just care about human development and what is best. What we know is I think it's about 80% of humans have had sex by their 20th birthday. Okay. So if you are a late starter, which means you have sex after the age of 18 for the first time, anywhere into your 20s, the research actually shows that you do better in life. Fewer divorces, higher education, and you make more money. And it makes sense. Those nerdy kids that are focusing on the books, they're doing better in life and they're making more money later. What we do know is that starting too early is often related to coercive sex. It's often related to drug and alcohol use. So starting age 13, 14, and sometimes even 15 is not as healthy. The mid-range is 15, 16, 17, but 13, 14, bad outcomes later in life. So suggestions for someone dating a widow with children: go slow. Do not expose yourself to the kids until you guys have been together at least 6 months, please, if not longer. Who's my favorite pop artist in history? Stevie Wonder, Prince, or Michael Jackson? They're all about even for me. I don't have a favorite there. I don't agree with you, Sydney. I want to put this up. She said she's heard there's a biological component to racial dating preferences. Where does the biological component from? No. It's all learned. It's all learned behavior. I mean, babies aren't looking in the mirror. They don't know who they are or what they're, no. It is very important, though, that we expose babies and toddlers and small children to a wide variety of races for everything in life, for their friendships and their roommates and everything. I'm very interested in somebody, but she's in a relationship with someone else. She calls a boyfriend. When is competition okay or not okay? Again, you're asking me moral questions. You got to live with your own morals. Do I say that mate poaching exists across the human species around the world? Absolutely. It's sort of, that's why people keep backup mates. Oh, I know you have them. You have backup mates. You do. They're in your DMs. They're in the elevator at work. They're in the cubicle over. They're people that in the back of your mind, you don't think it consciously, but you're kind of like, if anything happened to my mate died, if my mate broke up with me, there's somebody I could maybe go out with. So you keep backup mates, and mate poachers also hover around your mates. So be careful. Best books that I recommend. I just went through a few. The book called Attached. Right now I'm reading a great one called When Men Behave Badly. And if you're really interested in male sexual psychology, Dr. Randy Thornhill wrote one called A Natural History of Rape that's very eye-opening. What was it like living in Canada as a child? Very cold. Lots of snow. I did not like it. Can I talk about my dissertation? Sydney, you just ask the best questions every time because everybody wants to talk about their dissertation. They spend a year or two working on their dissertation and nobody reads it except their little dissertation board. And they think about it for the rest of their life. So Sydney, for my dissertation, I followed a population of 100 pregnant women for almost a year. I met them in yoga, labor prep classes, baby CPR classes, whatever, all the classes that pregnant women take. And I asked them to complete an attachment survey. I was looking at the relationship between romantic attachment style and ability to breastfeed. Then I caught up with them at 4 months postpartum, and I gave them another instrument where I asked them to tell me about their breastfeeding behavior. My hypothesis was that if you had a more avoidant attachment style, you might not be able to tolerate the intimacy of the breastfeeding relationship, because I think it is the most intimate relationship of the lifespan. Think of it. When you're on a newborn, it's nipple to mouth, about 6 hours straight, not straight, but 6 hours intermittently in a 24-hour period. And you're staring into each other's eyes and you're stroking each other. It's like having sex for 6 hours a day. I mean, it's not genital. Okay, guys, get off your rocker. But it's very intimate. And I wasn't able to prove my hypothesis because when I was in all those classes handing out my flyers saying, you can win a spa day, just fill out my survey, I watched the avoidant people walk out the back door. There you go. Can I describe where I am? I'm sitting in my living room. That's where I am in Los Angeles. How about that? Hi, Dana. How are you? Any more questions? Any more questions, anybody? Hello from Singapore. Nice to see you. I'm just waiting a minute because I know a good question comes. I know Sydney's like, there's got to be another one. She's going to take one of mine and put them on screen again. I can tell. I can picture her. Do I do personal or private advice? I do, but I'm sorry, it's really expensive. So this is how I balance things out. I don't have a lot of time in my week. I only do about 3 sessions a week. I do them by telephone. They're completely confidential, completely private. I give so much information to the world for free. You can follow me on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, anywhere, and I'm always giving out free information. I've written 3 books on relationships that are very affordable. You can listen to my radio show on KFI AM 640. You can listen to my podcast, Mating Matters, all free to you. If you want me one-on-one, alone on the phone, it's $800 an hour. Yeah, I know. But look, I paid lots of lawyers in my life, $900 an hour, and they gave me bad advice. I have more education than some of them, and I give good advice. Just letting you know. You can email me through my website if you're interested. How can I stop liking someone? It's an excellent question. I remember being in love with someone for so many years who really didn't love me back. That someone is not the person you love. That someone is a convenient object for you to project feelings of loss from somewhere else in your childhood. And the way to get over it is to go to therapy and talk about the early life feelings that you're now projecting onto the wrong person. It's not that person that's making you feel that way. You're feeling that way because it's triggering old feelings from very early in life. Again, Sydney's got a good question. What are ways to identify behaviors in a relationship that does not serve anymore? Not sure that I understand what you mean. I think you're asking about something that people do all the time. And don't think of it immorally. You're doing it every day, every minute. Maybe not every day. You do a cost-benefit analysis on your relationship. We all do it. Even when we have professed, I will love you through sickness and in health, through till death do us part. Then the shit goes down and the person's lost their ability to make money. They've gotten very sick, or they've become violent towards you, or they've started to succumb to an addiction, or all these things. Every day, people do a cost-benefit analysis. Even if they just have a fight, a spat, they're like, is this worth it? Should I keep up with this person? Of course, the good, healthy relationships remember the good times. They get through the valleys very easily. Okay, so the answer why I haven't posted anymore on Mating Matters is because for now, just for now, iHeartMedia has pulled the plug on it because not enough of you guys were subscribing. So if you can get more friends subscribing and you can help me promote Mating Matters, then I will get another production budget and we'll be back in production. I actually have interviews done for 3 more episodes, but I don't have a studio and a producer. So I am working on building a business around that. I am working on getting investment. I am working on continuing it because if you know Mating Matters, there are 58 amazing episodes. You can find it wherever you get your podcasts. It's on every single platform. And so I encourage you. Any more questions before I go? You know what I'm going to do right now, actually? I have to record some TikTok videos because I'm behind and I'm about to go away for a week. And so I will not be here next Wednesday. My youngest daughter is graduating from high school tomorrow. My oldest daughter graduated from college last year and there was no graduation. So I'm taking both my kids to Hawaii on Friday morning. So I am going to disconnect from all technology. However, because I have the fabulous woman, December Brown, managing my social media, I'm going to give her a pile of content that she can, oh, thank you for saying that about Mating Matters. Please get more people to listen to it and I'll get another production budget and we'll keep on moving. Anyway, so I'll be gone for a week, but December's going to be posting lots of content. I'm going to be on Maui. Oh, you're graduating from high school too. Congratulations. It's a big deal. How exciting. Yeah, for me, I feel like it's a mic drop. I mean, my kid turned 18 yesterday. She's my baby. I'm like, I jokingly said to them at dinner last night, you know, at this point, I can literally turn you out the street, never agree to feed you any more calories ever again, and I wouldn't be arrested for it. Just telling them. Anyway, I'm gonna have a great time in Hawaii. My content will still be posted on social media, but I'll be taping a lot of it tonight. And thank you all for being here. So my show will be dark this Sunday too, because I'll be gone for a week. But please, why don't you catch up by listening to Mating Matters podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, Mating Matters. Thanks so much for being with me. The following Sunday, I will be back on KFI AM 640 Los Angeles. You can listen anywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Thanks for being with me. I'm Dr. Wendy Walsh. We will see you here 2 Wednesdays from now. Bye, everybody. Bye.